Meghan Markle is spiraling, and this time, it's not just rumors. Prince Harry's quiet rebellion is turning into a full-blown emotional exit, and Meghan's grip is shattering fast. From Hollywood parties to royal whispers, the signs are clear she's losing control, and insiders say a psychotic meltdown is dangerously close. The essay that shook Meghan Harry's love letter to Britain. It was supposed to be just another Remembrance Day reflection, something respectful, routine, expected. But what Prince Harry wrote in his 2025 Remembrance Week essay didn't just honor soldiers, it cracked open something deeper to the world. The headline was simple: Harry honors fallen comrades in powerful tribute. But when readers dug into the words, something caught their breath. This wasn't just about military service, this was personal, intimate. And for some emotional, Harry wrote, "Britain is, and always will be the country I proudly serve. Currently, I may live in the US, but my heart remains with those I stood beside in uniform." On the surface, it looked like a touching tribute to veterans, but read between the lines, and the message felt like a quiet SOS. That phrase, "currently I may live in the US," set off alarms. Experts immediately picked up on the language shift. He didn't say he lives in us, he said he may have. Small word, but a loud signal. Psychologists, body language analysts, even royal insiders all agreed something had changed. This was a man no longer defending his decision to leave, no longer clinging to Caliph for new dreams, no longer parroting Meghan's message of escape and reinvention. Instead, his tone was soft, reflective, even regretful, longing, homesickness, distance. And the most noticeable part, not once did he mention Meghan Markle. No tribute, no thank you, not even a passing reference to their joint charity work. Nothing. It wasn't just a statement, it was a solo confession. For years, Harry had been Meghan's echo, from the Oprah bombshell in 2021 to the Netflix series in 2022. His every word seemed shaped by their shared voice, one of bitterness, blame, and separation. But this essay, this was Harry's own heartbeat on paper. This essay wasn't about soldiers, it was about Harry reclaiming himself, said royal psychologist Dr. Dr. Marianfield. He's trying to remember who he was before the chaos, before Hollywood, before the noise. And Meghan, sources close to the Sussex camp say she was blindsided. She didn't know the full version of the essay before publication. According to one insider, she expected the usual safe tribute. She didn't expect him to bare his soul and leave her out of it. Social media picked it up instantly. Royal fans noticed the absence. Even Sussex loyalists started asking, where is Meghan in this story? Behind the scenes, insiders say tension exploded in the Montecito mansion. Heated arguments, accusations, silence. Meghan was said to be visibly shaken. The man she once called her soulmate, the man who abandoned his crown for her, had just written a love letter to the very country she convinced him to leave. Royal commentator Angela 11 put it plainly. That wasn't just a tribute, that was acquired rebellion. And the most chilling part, it didn't feel like an accident. Harry knew what he was doing, and Meghan knows this is only the beginning. A broken fairy tale from royal wedding to royal meltdown. Back in May 2018, the world held its breath. Prince Harry, the beloved rebel of the royal family, stood at the altar waiting for Meghan Markle. A stunning American actress, biracial, confident, and full of promise. The ceremony was electric gospel, choirs, passionate vows, and a kiss on the steps of St. George's Chapel that made headlines for days. To millions, this wasn't just a royal wedding. It was a symbol of progress, unity, and modern monarchy. The world fell in love with them. But fairy tales fade fast. Just 7 years later, the very couple once praised for rejuvenating the royal image has become a symbol of division, drama, and downfall. From the explosive Oprah interview in 2021, where allegations of racism and royal cruelty shocked the globe, to the overly curated Netflix docu-series in 2022 and the cringe-worthy collapse of their spot of ideal in 2023, the Sussex as went from golden couple to global controversy magnets. Their every move, once applauded, is now dissected, criticized, and mocked. Instead of shaping their own narrative, they become trapped inside one they can't escape. And the fallout is personal. Meghan, once celebrated for her composure, is now cracking under the pressure. A Hollywood insider revealed she used to lead everything: her image, their strategy, the brand. Now it's like she's constantly chasing something that just isn't there anymore. Their attempt to build a billion-dollar empire on storytelling, activism, and fame has hit wall after wall. No more Oprah interviews, no Vogue covers, no A-list buzz. Even Meghan's recent attempts at fashion collaborations and brand revivals have been met with silence or worse, ridicule. Support in the US, once their strongest base, is now quiet, oddly evaporating. In the British public, they've long since turned their backs. Former Palisades who once walked the halls with them now say this fall from grace is unlike anything they've seen. One called it the most rapid and irreversible collapse of royal favor in modern times. And the strain isn't just public, it's deeply personal behind the scenes. Sources describe screaming arguments over PR decisions, RAND deals, and Harry's growing emotional distance. Meghan is said to be increasingly isolated, paranoid about betrayal from within her team, and desperate to regain control of the public narrative. A respected body language analyst broke down their latest video at the Dodgers game, noting he looks exhausted. She looks strained, they aren't moving in sync anymore, it's like they're playing different roles in a script that stopped working years ago. What once felt like the wedding of the century now feels like a warning. What happens when you try to mix palace tradition with Hollywood ambition and expect the world to cheer forever? As Meghan clings harder to the image she created, Harry's silence is growing louder, and that silence is terrifying because fairy tales don't always end in disaster. But this one, it's already in flames. Coming up next, the California dream that promised freedom has become Harry's golden cage. The California cage, Harry's freedom, has become his prison. When Harry left the royal family in 2020, he called it a step back. But just weeks later, he told Oprah it was actually a step forward, a break for freedom, sunshine, privacy, peace. But 5 years on that promise has crumbled. Without his military roles, royal duties, or family structure, Harry is floating, titles stripped, identity blurred. And now his citizenship status remains unclear. He still hasn't applied, and that silence is telling. Insiders close to the couple say Harry's been restless for months. He misses purpose, the kind that came with royal life, and no amount of California palm trees can replace that. The royal machine gave him orders, says one former royal aide. Now he's just another rich guy in Montecito, surrounded by influencers, not duty. Even Meghan's Hollywood circle hasn't filled the void. He's been spotted alone, more often looking distant, even distracted. Photographer who caught him outside of Santa Barbara cafe said he looked like he was somewhere else, mentally gone. Meanwhile, Meghan's focus has been red carpets, branding, and the next big moment. But Harry, he's stuck in a life that doesn't fit. He left a palace, but entered a cage, a royal expert said. Only now it's becoming clear, and he's starting to notice the bars, and things reached a boiling point with one short video, a video that said more than 1,000 interviews ever could. The hostage moment, the Dodgers video everyone's talking about. It was supposed to be adorable. Meghan Markle, radiant in a white blazer, surprises Prince Harry of the World Series game in October 2025. She sneaks up behind him, places her hands on his shoulders, and flashes that famous smile. But Harry, he barely flinched. No smile, no laugh, just a blank, tight-lipped stare. The video, shared on Meghan's personal Instagram, exploded within minutes, not because it was sweet, but because it wasn't. He looked like he didn't even know the camera was rolling, one commenter said. Another added, "That's hostage energy if I've ever seen it." Body language experts pounced on the footage, stiff shoulders, clenched jaw, zero eye contact. His body was screaming discomfort. One analyst said that was not a man enjoying a loving moment, that was a man checking out emotionally. And the question that followed, did Harry even know Meghan was recording? Sources say Harry was caught off guard. He thought it was a private moment, but Meghan had other plans. Or team uploaded the video within hours, tagging celebrity friends and media outlets. Critics now believe Meghan is using Harry not as a partner, but as a brand prop. That one clip did more damage than any tabloid headline. It showed the world what many feared: Meghan's control is fading and Harry's presence feels forced. As one viewer wrote, that wasn't love, that was marketing gone wrong. Coming up, Harry's surprise trip to Canada raises eyebrows and suspicions. Shadowing William, Harry's mysterious trip to Canada. It was meant to be Prince William's moment. In early November 2025, he arrived in Brazil to thunderous applause, leading the Earth-shot prize with the confidence of a future king. The headlines were glowing: William leads with purpose, the crown is in safe hands. But just as William's spotlight was shining the brightest, Harry hopped up in Canada. Coincidence? Meghan's team says yes, but royal insiders aren't buying it. Harry's last-minute appearance at a charity event in Vancouver left everyone talking. No prior promotion, no coordination, just boom, he was there on the same day William was speaking to world leaders in South America. Royal watchers immediately noticed a pattern. This isn't the first time Harry has mirrored William's big events, said royal commentator Richard Palmer, and it rarely feels accidental. It's happened before. Harry dropped an interview hours before King Charles' coronation announcement. Meghan's podcast launched days before Kate Middleton's mental health campaign. Now this Canadian appearance, a quiet, subtle headline grab, but this time felt different because Harry wasn't promoting anything. No book, no series, no product. He was just there, quiet, reflective, dressed in a navy suit and military pin, shaking hands, laying reads. Observers described the trip as calculated minimalism. No Meghan, no Netflix cameras, just Harry acting like the royal he once was. He looked like himself again, said one event attendee. There was something peaceful about him, and honestly something sad. Insiders believe that timing wasn't just about the press, it was about positioning. With Meghan's influence fading and their projects faltering, Harry may be testing the waters, showing he can still stand alone, still wear the crown of duty if not monarchy. And while Meghan stayed behind and Montecito focusing on her upcoming fashion relaunch, Harry seemed content, almost relieved to be in familiar territory. He wasn't competing with William. One former palace aide said he was shadowing him, trying to feel what it's like again. The message was subtle but clear. Harry may have walked away from the royal family, but he never truly left it behind. And that alone could be ripping Meghan apart behind the scenes. Meghan's PR is falling apart, and she knows it. There was a time when Meghan Markle could do no wrong. From 2018 to 2020, she was Hollywood's darling, the Duchess who dared to break the mold. But fast forward to late 2025 and the picture has flipped completely. The Netflix deal, flashed spot if I cancel, her new lifestyle brand already floundering before launch. And while Meghan tried to make a bold comeback posing in Balenciaga, dripping in diamonds, the internet didn't buy it. Out of touch, one outlet wrote, desperate said another. Even Meghan's most loyalist allies have gone quiet. One media insider revealed there's a real sense of fatigue now. The public isn't listening anymore. But it's not just the public pulling away. Insiders say major Hollywood players are distancing themselves. Why? Because Meghan's name no longer sells like it used to. She used to be a ticket to headlines, said a Netflix executive. Now she's a risk. And it's not just about money. It's about control, something begun, always maintained with an iron grip. From branding to interviews to red carpets, she was in charge of every angle. But now that grip is slipping fast. Her team is scrambling to control the narrative. Carefully edited photos, scripted interviews, controlled leaks. But it's not working anymore. People see through it. And Harry is no longer playing along like he used to. He's drifting, said one source close to the Sussex circle. And Meghan feels it every time he speaks. Without her, every solo moment, it chips away at the brand she built. PR experts call it brand decay, the slow death of a public image, and right now Meghan's is crumbling under the weight of failed promises, public backlash, and her growing isolation. As one royal biographer bluntly put it, Meghan built her empire on image control. Now she's watching that empire fall apart, one headline at a time. Next, Harry's loyalty is questioned after a shocking choice on Remembrance Day, and Meghan is once again in the firing line. The veterans versus Kardashians controversy, Harry's ultimate betrayal. November 11th, 2025, Remembrance Day, a sacred time when Britain mourns and honors its fallen heroes. For years, Prince Harry, a veteran himself, stood tall at the cenotaph or lead tributes around the world. But this year, he didn't even post a tribute. Instead, the world saw photos of Harry at a Hollywood birthday bash with Kris Jenner, Paris Hilton, and Meghan Markle, taken just 48 hours after his military-themed essay made headlines. He wore a blazer, she wore sequins, behind them champagne flowed. Flash bulbs popped and the music blared. No poppies, no silence, no respect. The backlash was instant. He dishonored his own words. One UK veteran tweeted, "You don't praise your brothers in arms one day, then party with the Kardashians the next." Royal fans felt betrayed just days before Harry's emotional Remembrance Day letter touched hearts, reminding the world of his service in Afghanistan, his commitment to British troops, and his pride in his heritage. But his actions didn't match his words. Critics are pointing the finger at Meghan, claiming she dragged Harry into the LA elite scene, knowing full well how it would look. This isn't just a social misstep, said military columnist Simon Western. It's a deep insult to the UK, to the memory of the fallen, and to the man Harry once was. Even US veterans groups reportedly sent private complaints, shocked by Harry's tone-deaf appearance. It wasn't about the party, said one group leader. It was the timing. It screamed disconnect. And Meghan, she tried to spin it. Her reps insisted the party was a private event and that Harry was not aware of how public the photos would become, but no one's buying it. He's not a hostage, he's a grown man, one royal aide snapped. If he didn't want to be there, it wouldn't be. But that's exactly the issue. People are beginning to believe Harry has changed, and not for the better. And for Meghan, the cost of dragging him away from his roots may finally be catching up. One viral headline summed it up best: from the battlefield to Beverly Hills. Where did Prince Harry go wrong? And if the whispers are true, he might be thinking the same thing. Is Harry secretly plotting his escape? For months now, Prince Harry has been making subtle moves, quiet interviews, solo appearances, personal essays, and royal insiders say it all point to one thing: he wants out, not from Meghan necessarily, but from the world they've built in California. According to royal expert Tom Sykes, Harry has begun laying emotional breadcrumbs for a return to Britain by 2026. In his latest public writings, Harry repeats phrases like "the country I fought for" and "those I served beside." These aren't just Reflection there signals he's reconnecting with his old self-psych set piece by piece and quietly without Meghan. Reports also suggest Harry has reconnected with old friends from his Sanders days privately under the radar. One even flew to London last month and was spotted at a pub known for military reunions. But what's really sparked conversation in the palace? The whispers of a soft return plan. Allegedly, early talks are happening between Kensington Palace staff and neutral intermediaries, nothing official yet. But the plan is simple: allow Harry to split time between the UK and us starting in early 2026 under the guise of veteran charity work. No titles, no drama, just presence and Meghan. She's not included in those talks. She built a life around having full control, said one insider. Now that control is slipping, she's panicking. For Meghan, Harry returning to the UK, even part-time, is more than a separation of geography. It's a split in power. Her entire image was built on being part of a powerful duo. Without Harry by her side 24/7, that image crumbles fast, and if he does go back even quietly, it means she's been left behind. As one source close to the palace bluntly put it, the great escape isn't loud, it's quiet, it's happening now, and Meghan, she can't stop it. Next, Meghan's final mask slips as insiders expose what's really happening behind those Montecito gates. Meghan's reputation collapse from feminist icon to public enemy. Once hailed as a bold voice for modern feminism, Meghan Markle now finds herself in a devastating free fall from global inspiration to Hollywood exile. It's hard to believe that in 2018 she was a royal icon, a fresh face, a fighter for women's rights. But today, in late 2025, she's being called everything from manipulative to narcissistic, even a bully. And this time the voices aren't coming from tabloids, they're coming from inside her own world. Former staff have broken silence, describing chaotic outbursts, cruel emails, and meltdowns over minor issues. One ex-aide told AS outlet she wasn't empowering. She was terrifying. Claims that once sounded like royal gossip now come with receipts, emails, leaked text patterns. Even celebrity friends have started distancing themselves. Big names who once praised her are suddenly silent, and that silence speaks volumes. Media analysts say her sympathy shield is gone. Her claims of being a victim of racism and palace oppression once gained her support, but now people are questioning everything. She weaponized pain for publicity, said one former Netflix producer, but the public caught on. And when spot if I pulled the plug on their podcast deal, they didn't sugarcoat it. One exec famously said, "She's not a great talent, and she's not a great team player. It's a brutal fall from grace, and what's making it worse? Harry's emotional drift. Without his full support, Meghan is exposed. The royal badge is gone. The US media is turning. Hollywood is pulling back. Even activist circles are wary. She's running out of people to blame," said a former PR agent, and she knows it. Photos from recent events show the cracks, forced smiles, tense posture, and desperation in her eyes. Body language experts say Meghan is under extreme psychological stress, and it's showing. Once the face of a royal revolution, Meghan is now the symbol of overreach, and the people who once cheered for her are quietly walking away. But the storm may not be over, because what insiders are now reporting is far darker than bad press. Psychotic meltdown. Incoming experts warn of vegan's breaking point. Behind the designer gowns, filtered Instagram posts, and carefully staged appearances, sources saw